Hi, in this video I'm going to talk about a grading spreadsheet that I made that others might find useful. I'm just going to go through it quickly and explain kind of how it works, how you're going to use it to be able to do, say, homeschool grading. That's what I use it for. You can use this to create a numeric score for the different quarters, which will show up in these cells here. That's basically what the spreadsheet's all about, is so that you can keep track for a transcript, your grades for a set of courses for the year, and the year grade at the end of the year. So what you're going to want to do is go to the link that is with this video. Hopefully I'll get it on YouTube. It'll be in the description. Once you're here, you won't be able to edit this directly. You're going to want to either download this as Excel if you'd want to use Excel. I use Google Docs. I think it's great for my wife and I to work together on grades and both see it and share it, work on it together. And we know it's just all in the cloud, but if you prefer, this should work too. And everything I go over, you should be able to do pretty much everything in Excel. It works pretty much the same way. But what I'm going to do, instead of downloading as Excel, since I'm not editing this document, I'm going to make a copy of it. And so I'm going to call it Andrew's grades. So I'm going to use this spreadsheet to make grades for one of my sons. This will put it into your Google Drive. So now I have a document called Andrew's grades, and now this is something I can edit, and I'm not going to mess up the original template. Something I'll mention before I forget is you'll probably want to take this template and actually keep it this tab exactly as it is, and then make copies for every course that you want to do so that you have a blank template to work off of each time. So you can just keep this template here in your spreadsheet, and then I'm going to go here and duplicate it, and now I have a copy of the template, and this will be for a particular course. Now you can use the tab name down here for the name of the course, so I'm just going to call it math. Probably want something more specific for your transcript, like algebra 1 or something like that, but I'll just keep things really simple. So that's one thing you have to fill in. The rest, there's not too many other things you have to do, but the main thing is to figure out how you're going to split up your grade. So you can have here as kind of as many as you want. If you needed more, you should be able to insert columns in here, but there should be plenty here for as many ways you want to split things up. If you don't need as many, you can always delete the cells, and then they should not count, and you can just use as many of these columns as you want. But how does this work? So you just want to name each thing. So you might have tests, you might have papers, say in an English class. Whenever you have something written in here, that makes the column active, and then what you need to do is you distribute the score so that the total over here adds up to 100%. So here it's only adding up to 70%. You need to make sure your grades add up to 100%. So you can adjust these as you're trying to figure out how that's going to work, and your plan for how you want this to how you want to do your grades. For this math, I'll say, yeah, tests are say 40%, exercises are 30%, and say participation is 30%. But I'm just sort of arbitrarily picking things here. So the main thing the spreadsheet does is it figures out how to put grades that you put down below, how to combine those into the quarter grades and then the year grade. Now you notice right away it will assume everything is 100%. So if they don't do anything, or if you haven't recorded anything in one of the categories, it assumes that they got full credit for that. So for example, for participation, for quarter one, if you didn't enter anything, it assumes 100%. But if you said they got 85% in participation, then if whatever cells are in here, it'll average whatever is in here for this column participation, and it'll put it here. So again, if you don't have anything, it's 100%. And if you put anything at all, it'll start averaging them. So if I put like 90 and 80 in here, that there are two activities that counted for participation, say, then that were graded 90 and 80, then the participation grade for this quarter, because we're in this quarter area here, will be 85%. And then when it's averaged with the other parts of the grade, which is exercises at 30% and tests at 40% of the grade, then that ends up with a 95.5 average for quarter one. So this is the number here that is what we're actually able to figure out for the total grade for that quarter, for each quarter. And you'll notice that even if quarters 2, 3, and 4 haven't happened yet, they are just assumed to be at 100%. So you can't really depend on this year grade until you've actually done the whole year and can average out quarter one, quarter two, quarter three, quarter four. Now, you would normally enter things in here. So one thing that I use this column for is for describing, there's usually one type of thing that is kind of progress through the chapters of, where there might be chapter tests, say. So you'd have the math chapter 1 test, and that's where I'd put the grade here for that test. And then, you'd put, and they can just be anywhere. You kind of work down the timeline is how I do it, but really you can just scatter numbers anywhere in here, whatever makes sense for you. But maybe it's the next one here. You put chapter 2 test, and then that is 84. Then it'll average those up to 90.5 for the test grade for that quarter. So yeah, you use this to maybe put in some notes if you want to. You use this grid here to put in any grades that will get averaged up above into the right quarter category. And that's pretty much how it works. So you would have to do something different if you had, say, a half of a year class that was maybe only a half a unit. Then you'll have to ignore for the year grade, either ignore quarter 1, quarter 2, or ignore quarter 3, quarter 4. But that's not too bad. Say it was just quarter 1, quarter 2, and these were the quarter grades. You needed the year, the full grade. You can pretty easily, add up and divide by 2 of those 2. Excel also, and Google Sheets also has a nice little average down here for whatever you have selected. So that overall grade would be 95.9. Trying to think, is there any other things that I've used this for, things that I've run into? Oh, I can mention it should work that if you run out of cells here, then you can select any row and you can insert a row above or below, and that should work fine. It's usually safer to insert rows not at the very end of the range because the formulas might not work. So I'd suggest picking one of the rows in the middle. So like this one, but not this one. just to make sure that you're not going past the end of the formula. But the formulas should all adjust correctly if you add in the middle. That's just a general way that general thing about how Excel works. But yeah, as you need more classes, I would just go back to the main template, duplicate that, and start on your next course. I think that's all I wanted to go over here. So hopefully that's helpful to you. Yeah, let me know if there's something missing, but hopefully you can find some use in this. All right, thanks.